Every story has a beginning, middle, end. Every character, big or small, has to start somewhere. Sometimes people would say that it doesn't matter where you start, but rather where you end up. I humbly disagree. In my opinion, the ending only matters if your origin is captivating. In movies, a great opening sequence or a great character introduction goes a long way in impacting the movie as well as affecting the audience. So I want to go over a few reasons why a proper introduction matters to a story, whether that be to a character or the story itself. Like any good story, the prologue or first chapter matters a lot. For a movie, usually the first 5 to 10 minutes need to get your audience hooked on the premise and, more importantly, your characters. For example, let's look at a film like Mad Max Fury Road or the film Baby Driver. Both films start with a cold open right in the middle of the action. We see Max hunted down by the war boys of Immortan Joe. His V8 Interceptor, once a formidable piece of automobile machinery, is now decayed and old, barely able to keep up. Max himself is looking like a wild feral animal. We literally open up with him crushing and eating a lizard raw. That tells you so much about his state of mind. Comparatively, in Baby Driver, we open with the heist. Our protagonist, Baby, is a getaway driver who is waiting for his teammates. Right in the opening, we are pushed into a heart-pounding chase sequence that showcases our protagonist's wit and skill in evading the cops. We see him pull off crazy stunts and think quick on his feet to the point that the other criminals in the car reflect similar emotions as the audience: fear, panic, excitement, and jubilation. Opening a film in a manner such as this demands the audience's attention and allows them to be immersed in the world, and especially its main character. Speaking of characters, let's quickly look back at Baby Driver. If we just rewind before the chase occurs, we see Baby in the car listening to tunes. In this small moment, as we are filled with anticipation of the impending chaos, we see how nonchalant, playful, yet oddly well choreographed Baby is. It tells you quite a bit about his character. One, that he has done this many times before and is no stranger. Two, despite helping criminals and being a criminal himself, Baby doesn't have the demeanor of a hardened felon. He comes off as playful and jovial. Now contrast this with the chase scene that happens afterwards. As mentioned earlier, we see him pull off these crazy death-defying stunts and is shown to be able to quickly formulate an escape plan and get himself and the crew out of harm's way safely. We almost see a switch flip in him when he is driving. His playfulness now seems to operate on a level of chaotic mischievousness, while his ability to operate his car so skillfully reminds us of his little choreographed dance session in the car. Despite his appearance, he is extremely skilled and well coordinated. And throughout the film, it is these traits that are introduced early on in the film that keep him alive when facing dangerous situations that would have killed anyone else. All of this occurs in the first 6 minutes of the film. Immediately, the audience are not only interested in Baby, but we are also invested and amazed by him. In 6 minutes, we as the audience have a connection with our protagonist. Another protagonist we could take example from is Ram from the film RRR. Granted, when we first see him, he comes off more as an antagonist. One could argue that for a portion of the film, Ram was an antagonist, as he was in the way of Bheem, who was trying to save Malli from her British captors. He is literally introduced in chaos, in midst of a massive riot. Like in Baby Driver, our protagonist Ram is introduced with no dialogue whatsoever. Not a single word spoken, only action. And as we know, actions speak louder than words. Ram is presented as a strong, stoic man full of resolve and someone who is duty-bound to the British Raj. Where his fellow colleagues stumble and fall back in fear of the crazed mob, Ram stands still, not even blinking. When he is ordered by his superior to arrest one of the protesters, this absolute mad lad grabs his baton and jumps right into the crowd of rioters. An overwhelming crowd of angry men are no match for Ram, who might as well be the Terminator. Not only is he relentless in his pursuit, but he is also able to think fast and act faster. Sooner rather than later, he captures the single rioter from the crowd. He takes a single moment of respite to catch his breath. With that complete, he takes his position back at the front line, unmoving in his resolve despite his injury. We as the audience immediately know a few things about him. We know of his superhuman resolve, we know of his strength of character, his fearlessness, and of his willpower and determination. However, we also have a few questions. Why is this Indian man working for the British Raj? Why does he seem so hell-bent on being the perfect officer? Why does he keep doing it when he often gets passed on for a promotion? This combination of knowing certain things about him, while at the same time not understanding his motives behind them, leaves us feeling somewhat, well, how do I say it? I think this moment sums it up well.
That mob. I was scared out of my wits, sir.
He scares me more.
Now moving slightly away from character, but not completely, let's now talk about something else that needs to be established in the first 5 to 10 minutes of a film. Granted, an audience that is coming to watch a film has probably at this point seen enough marketing material regarding the film that they most likely know what kind of film they are about to watch. However, it is still the film's job to immerse the audience in the world of the movie, as well as understand how things work. If you take a modern superhero film, usually you will understand the general vibe and tone of the film. Bright, colorful, family friendly. On the flip side, a film like No Country for Old Men immediately immerses the audience in a brutal, unforgiving world where death is common. This is our introduction to Anton Chigurh. In the first 5 minutes of the film, 2 brutal murders are committed. The first kill is literally Anton Chigurh slaughtering a police officer inside a police station. The scene isn't a clean kill either. Instead, the scene drags on, lingering on the police officer fighting against the vice-like grip against his neck, while Chigurh has this manic look on his face, a glimpse at the pure madness underneath his human facade. Surprising enough, this is probably the most emotion he showcases on his face throughout the entire film. Any film wouldn't have lingered on this moment, but No Country for Old Men lets you understand the brutality of this kill. We can literally see the skid marks left on the floor, showcasing the sheer struggle the officer went through, only for it to be in vain. And right after the sequence, Anton literally kills an innocent man with the stillness and calmness of a deep-sea shark. A predator amongst men.
Would you hold still, please, sir?
These scenes create a sense of nihilistic violence and madness, and it's pervasive throughout the film itself. And sooner or later, we as the audience simply accept it as the norm. And so, now I hope I was able to showcase to you the importance of introductions in films. If I've missed any, please do let me know down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. and have a nice day.